The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy. On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, Dan and Hugh talk the continued crypto decline, tax season being over, and tips to prepare for 2021. And Hugh talks about graduating. Let's get it.
Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building for the Atlas crew.
Atlas Trading, what the fuck is up?
There are traders, there are prodigies, and then there's legends.
We're up 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent. Buy the fucking dip.
Hey, who told me about IDEX?
Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, someone just made, like, a lot more money than me on my trade.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Did you check the portfolio?
Pennies. The margin for error is so small.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
And they out there making money right now off of penny stocks.
Them two guys is putting in work to make y'all rich.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us.
Time to think big.
Pennies Going in Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity at Dukes, and Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny Strokes, baby.
This episode is brought to you by Benzinga. Benzinga is our absolute favorite resource to use when we trade. We use it for news scanners. We use it for float checkers. We use it for stock screening. We use it for just about everything, including chat rooms and much, much more. But that's not all they have. They have YouTube as well. Hot Stocks Luke every single day has great guests on, ranging from Ripster to Mia Khalifa to Gary to all the best guests you need to hear from every single day, all day long. So make sure to go check that out. That's youtube.com/Benzinga. And if you look in the replies to this tweet, you will see how to get a discount code for Benzinga Pro. Make sure to go sign up for Benzinga Pro right now. Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going in Raw. Today is Sunday, May the 23rd, and small caps. Should I curse it? I think they're back. They're
Whoa. Jesus, don't, knock on wood.
It just feels so good. I'm ready to start slapping shit like an abusive stepdad. I'm destroying walls like a drunk teenager.
Oh my God.
I want, I'm support, I'm resistance, I'm all of the above. What are you taking away from this week? I mean, it just seemed like a boring week in February and January. I mean, not exactly like a super fun one, but it's a little bit easier.
I think this is it's funny because now that we're 10 months into the podcast, I really feel like we've said so many of the same things over and over again. And half the people love that, half the people hate that. But this is one of those times where it's like, expect the unexpected. Like, drill that into your mind. And I think that everybody was calling, look at SPY. SPY was literally dangling on a thread on the last bit of support before like a 10% gap down. Like it was fucking, QQQ was going crazy. And then all of a sudden it starts ripping. And what was it? Tuesday it ripped. Wednesday it ripped, Thursday it ripped, Friday it ripped. And it caught so many people off guard. And same as small caps, like all of a sudden small caps just heated up. Like it didn't, like us included, we were expecting like that one to set off small caps, and it wasn't.
Yeah, and another thing to kind of bring up with the market is, SPY has been like up and down, up and down. I keep with the similes. I'm like a sorority girl, but I'll stop with the comparisons. SPY's been doing a lot of punk fakes. You mentioned you wanted it like a pullback to like 390, and you'd see it go to like 405, 407. And then the next day, it's right back to 415. So, do you think this is going to be like a headline situation that eventually causes it to finally drop, or do you think this pullback will happen naturally?
That's a really good question. And honestly, I want the market to pull back while small caps are hot, because that's where people flee to. And so while both are going up, I think it's good, but I would like to see kind of like a choose a direction. Like, I really feel like we're kind of like at a fork in the road. And so this might be like a quick glimpse into small caps, but I think it'd be really good if SPY pulled back and small caps continue to get hot. I think like from like a healthy like longevity standpoint, that would make the most sense.
Yeah. If it were going to be a headline that caused it to drop, what kind of headline do you think would cause like that severe of a drop? Going forward.
Well, see, I think, again, we talked about the market makers, and so the market makers hide behind headlines. The headlines don't make the market makers in most cases. I mean, we look at March, and everybody was expecting this big crash, and then what the market makers do, they sent that shit like 100%. So personally, what I think would actually make people sell would be taxes. If the capital gains tax, with the Congress actually got, some movement and actually had some, let's call it gusto behind it, then, one of the guys I know, he sold half his business. So he sold $50 million worth of his business just because he was worried about taxes. And I think that that's something that we could see more of, because people just don't know. It's the unknown that people are worried about. And I think that the unknown could make them, sell some off of their, let's call it like their 401k or, their investments, things of that nature.
I know we recorded Wednesday's episode on Tuesday afternoon, and one of the big things we talked about was the price of Bitcoin. When we recorded it, I believe it was around 50,000 or around there. Well, just as we uploaded that, I think it dropped to like below 40 for sure. It hit like what 35 to 37-ish.
I think even 33 it went as low as.
And Dogecoin hit 19 cents. It was a massive crypto crash. But it did have some decent rebounds. But it's wild how fast those will happen. But I did see a chart that was really cool. It showed like the price of Bitcoin over 5 years, and then all the massive drops. It was minus 50%, minus 60%. But in the big ass chart, they were so small. So I mean,
I'm looking at it right now, and I mean, it even there's a wick below 32,000. So it technically, the price was below 32,000 for a hot second. But that being said, right now, there's so many people that are ready to buy sub 40,000, hell, sub 50,000. So everybody's ready to buy sub 30,000. But let's just say that, I mean, you know how I feel about Bitcoin, and about those Bitcoin whales. Let's just say that one of the guys liquidated $7 billion worth of his position or whatever, and it took Bitcoin down 15%. And that was when Bitcoin's market cap was like $2 trillion. Okay. Let's just say that they sold like $100 billion worth, which wouldn't even be that much.
$100 billion worth. One person. How many people have $100 billion? Like 4?
Not that many people, but you got to remember, is that 40%. So
no. We talked to someone way smarter than us, and we found out that was wrong.
He said
it was 1,000 people owned like 20%,
40%.
It was like it was less, and it was like 1,000 people.
Okay, all right, fine. I'll tickle your fancy with 20%,
and it's 1,000 people.
So let's just. Okay, fine. That's not that many
so
people. There's like 1,000 people that live inside my freaking building.
Now each of them on average on 0.4% or 100.
That's not the right
Okay,
math.
so it'd be 0.04% or 2.
Okay. Ready? Think about it this way, okay? Let's just say that the market cap's $1 trillion right now. Okay. And 1,000 people own 20%. Okay. So they own 200 billion. Okay. And let's just say on average, each of them owns 2 billion. Okay. And 5 of them sell.
So that means that makes your math equal 2 trillion for these. So that means that
No. This is where the market cap's at $1 trillion now.
Yeah,
okay,
1,000 times 2 billion or whatever the fuck number you said.
Oh, did I say 2 billion?
No, the number you gave, sorry, it's fucking early. But what are you fucking worried about exactly? I don't even know.
Okay, all I'm saying is that let's just say that 5 or 6 whales got worried and were like, let me take half profit. Okay, that day that the guy sold 7 billion with a 2 trillion market cap, it went down 14%. If let's just say 10 to 15 whales out of the 1,000 decided to sell off half of their position, obviously we don't know their position size, then, they really could take this thing down 30%. And what happens if everybody that's waiting to buy inside the 30s, what happens when they go? Then I feel like we might get into panic mode because it's like with stocks. Everybody wants to buy the first dip, but when the second dip comes, the same people that were buying the first dip are scared as shit inside the second dip, and they're panic selling. And so that's what I worry about. I worry that if we were to seriously get below like 27, that like the panic would just set in. Right now, it's like, this is life-changing opportunity. Below 27 is where I think the switch happens.
I think one thing that's interesting with Bitcoin is maybe it's just me with position sizing in it. If I'm throwing money for one, my Bitcoin isn't in my same brokerage wallet or my same broker. So it's like, I don't spend the same amount of money I spend in stocks anywhere else. Stocks are the only place where I'm like, okay, yeah, here's 20 grand without thinking about it. Take it. Okay, now here's another. Yeah. But with Bitcoin, man, I'll like put, like I mentioned before, it's small, like scaling in like $150, $200, because that number's right in front of your face. It's not like I see, even if I saw like 28,000, I'm not even sure if I'd be comfortable throwing like $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 in. Because, when it's stocks, it feels different. But it's dollars coming out of my bank account.
I completely agree. But we're going to have the same exact people. It's going to be the same argument that we had before about when I said that I need to hold something tangible. It's going to be that same exact argument. The thing that's different is that, like, okay, TD Ameritrade, I trust them. Should I? Probably not. Fidelity, do I trust them? Yes. Should I? Probably not. Those Coinbase wallets or whatever, or I don't even remember half what their names are. I do. Yeah. Okay. If the government doesn't even the government obviously recognizes cryptocurrency, but if they're not backed by at least something, and again, okay, will the government back anything? Yeah. Like the government gave freaking guns to the same people. Like the government in war, the government gives guns to like the opposing side most of the time. Anyway, that's a different story. But my point is that I at least have some kind of comfort with TD Ameritrade. With the other ones, I really don't know what's stopping them from just taking my money, like a Ponzi scheme. You know what I mean?
I used to buy mine in Cash App, and the price on Cash App for Bitcoin would be delayed. And I thought I had found the infinite money hack because like the price on Cash App would be delayed by like 2 to 3 minutes. And I'd throw in like $100 and I'd note it and it would say it did it at a certain price. And sure as shit, 3 minutes later, it would go up because that was the proper current price. But then I realized that there was like an additional fee that they added to like make it so even if you bought it right before it ripped or right after a dip or some crazy shit, you still had to pay it. But I was literally thinking I was like had charged 3 minutes ahead of real time just because I had Cash App.
Yeah. No, I think that's funny because I thought the same way when I first opened up my first TD account. I think it was like
You thought you were the only
15,
you
16.
thought you were the only person without a 15-minute delay.
Yeah, and at the what do you call it? And then this movie came out called like Hummingbird or something, and it was about someone who basically they fast lined all the news by 0.01 seconds faster than anybody else had ever done it. Like it basically like fast lined the news. Long story short. And I was like, holy shiz. Hummingbird. I was like, I'm getting all the news faster than everybody. I know everything that's happening before everybody. Like I was like, shoot, at this point, I'm gonna be $1 billion by like high school, I was like, shoot, that's when I really stopped caring about grades. I was like, damn. But anyway, should we move on to I think we got to talk about taxes real quick.
Going taxes again, huh?
Yeah, because we just obviously tax day literally happened like less than a week ago.
Do you do quarterly? Yeah, you do quarterly.
Yes. Well, so the way that I handle it is that the first 2 quarters I don't pay an estimated tax, and then for the third quarter I pay half of what I owe overall.
Okay. Yeah, because mine sent me estimated, but I had made more in like January and February than I did all last year. So it's like how these estimates aren't going to be right, Yeah,
that's why I wait till Q3 because, if I have a huge drawdown, which like when I took that Bugatti Chiron loss, I mean, if I take another one of those, then if I take 2 or 3 more of those, and I'll be like flat on the year. So that's why I wait until Q3 to pay an estimated tax, and then I'll pay half of whatever overall I owe, and then again, whatever when we get to Q4, then whatever I still owe, half of that I'll pay. And so at the bare minimum, I'm at least covering my ass for the taxes,
Yeah. So yeah, I like that.
And the other thing that we have to talk about while we're here, because it's so crucial, is that, listen, if you guys aren't trading, if you guys are full-time and you aren't trading as an LLC, or you're not trading mark to market, you need to either switch that on your brokerage account or just simply open up an LLC. It sounds super intimidating to open up an LLC. It literally takes like no time. I think it's like $1,000 to have my accountant do it or something. So, and the benefits are insane. Especially if we really don't know what's going on with taxes inside the future, this is one of the ways that you can protect yourself. Also, limited liability corporation. Name says it all. So if you go out and take some stupid loan, you go out and take some stupid loan, it's PGIR, don't do that. But if you take out some stupid loan, it's not on your individual. So while we're just done tax day, now we actually nobody wants to think about this, but you actually have to start thinking about the future. And if you really do want to do this full time for a long time, then an LLC is probably the way to go. Or switch your brokerage account to market. And that's what you did, right?
I thought it was already, but then whenever I went to my accountant a week before taxes were due, and he's like, "Oh, we can't do wash sales or mark to market," and I was like, "What?" And so that hurt. But he said we got it for next year though, so that's
fantastic. Yeah. And the other thing is that they'll prorate it. So if you do let's just say you open up an LLC, and the first half of what is this, May? So the first 5 months you made $50,000. And there's certain stipulations, like you have to trade like 750 times or something. I don't remember, to become like a pro trader or whatever the hell the IRS calls it. What they'll do is that they'll prorate it. So if you open up the LLC or the account May 27th, then as long as you follow the rules from May 27th to December 31st, then they'll count you as a pro trader or whatever. I forget the name of it, but I think it's like trader tax or something.
Tax status or some shit.
That's what it is. TTS. Yeah. And so they'll prorate it. So if you're like looking at yourself and you're like, okay, it's May, I missed the boat. No, you didn't. They prorate it. It's awesome.
Well, looking forward to the weeks coming back. I know last week, I think we could kind of make this a recurring thing is, talking about some of the lucrative opportunities in a beaten down market. So obviously last week we talked about bios and how to play them. Are there any other sectors or just different types of plays that you kind of look forward to after, a seasonal change in the market where we can start playing, other types of stocks with big gain chances?
Yeah, I think one of the greatest things that we've seen over the past week especially has been overall inflow into small caps. This is a really subtle thing, and there's nothing that says there's nobody that's gonna like raise up a flag and be like,
safe to swim.
There's an inflow. Yeah. Like that's not like nothing in the market works like that. Like I wish like we could just like, the way that like taxes work, like, like hello, inflow into small caps. No, but what we've seen is that kind of like that, the saying like one or tide lifts all ships. Aha! I got it right.
That one.
Yeah. I think it's like one boat, one tide lifts all ships. I had it the first time.
Blow out your head.
But my point is that what we've seen with like stuff like ONTX, even though they dropped the reverse split, is that they have really, if you look back at small caps, they really feel like they've felt a bottom. Like ONTX traded at 108 or something, like not too long ago, like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, it was trading at like 50 cents, and it got over $1.10 within the past month. Now with the reverse split as we're recording this, it's at like 10. But my point is that what we're really seeing is that all these things that got killed are starting to quietly creep up. Another one is that SPCE. It was trading at $13 a share. It hit 21 the other day. So, I mean, that's a really good return.
I have some of that in my Cash App. I didn't even know about that. Let's see.
Yeah. So, like, my point is that we're seeing like kind of really sneaky bottom plays come back. And that's a fantastic sign. Like that's a great sign. That's what we want to see. But the thing that we have to be cautious of is that, and this is why I'm adding swings, because I feel like it's kind of going to be like one of those things where like they slowly grind up. And I don't want to get those swings once they're already, once they're already up 50%, obviously. So what I'm slowly doing.
Are you saying like it's more so just swings in general and these like slow grinders that are kind of could be coming into play here?
Well, that's what I'm anticipating. So I'm not, but again, I have no conviction right now. Well, no, I mean, obviously I have conviction, but what I'm saying is that like, it's not like, oh, you know what, I'll add this, let's see where it goes. That's not the kind of market we're in, obviously. The kind of market that we're in right now is for me right now, it's highest quality, beat down near cash, and ideally they grind up. I think that we are really like, listen, get ready, ladies and gentlemen. I think this summer is going to be hot. I think this summer is going to be really hot. I think that, I see some traders out there who they're just technical based, and like they like complain about not having 100% runner in pre-market. Say that out loud. 100%? Apple's never going to do that. Will you stop bitching? It's so annoying.
Won't drop a shitty news and drop 30%. And
I completely agree. But my point is that for you to sit there on Twitter and say, oh no, we don't have 100%er is insane. Grow up, learn how to trade some other stuff. Because it's really getting annoying when I open up my Twitter and I see this. Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello, 40% is a fucking killing. All right? Jesus.
Right.
But
right
anyway,
on.
I don't even know where we were with this, but that's been like boiling under the skin for so long. Do you know what 40% is? Jesus. 40% is a lot. You have 100,000 there. That's 40 grand.
Yeah.
40 grand is some people's salaries.
Right.
Stop complaining about a 30% run.
Yeah. In this market, little runners are nice to come by and take those gains real quick. Sorry, I don't have like quite as much energy as he does necessarily, but yeah, no, it's definitely take every gain with a grain of salt. And but I think, it does seem like all of the pain and all of this bullshit's over, because the past going on 3 months now has been at a point where you can't feel comfortable holding things multiple days. If it pops, you better sell it, or all those gains are going to disappear. And there's really there wasn't any, like, you couldn't go to sleep and wake up the next morning without thinking, holy shit, what's my account going to look like? So I feel like at least that part is over. And like you were saying, I've started scaling some swings, and, some of them obviously I'm not a big fundamental guy, but I've done a lot just on, you can, if you know their price ranges and the personalities of those stocks, you can kind of get a feel which ones are just down way, way, way too bad.
Oh, yeah. If you're new to trading, or, let's say you're a Corona trader, one of the best telltale signs is going to be cash versus market cap. If they have 50 million in cash and the market cap's 50 million, that's almost a no-brainer that, you have to look at their burn rate. Their burn rate is how much cash they use during the quarter. So let's just say that they have 50 million and they have a 5 million burn rate during the quarter. Well, if it's Q2, you know that Q3, they'll have 45 million. So if their market cap's 50 million, and let's just say the management isn't complete garbage, then you can pretty much time that as like, okay, this is a pretty good trade, or based on financials, they have pretty solid financials. Now, obviously, if they start to dilute, then the management sucks. And, EVFM is the first one that comes to mind. Then the management sucks, and you just gotta handle that. But that's why it's so important to stalk your trades if you're swinging. Understand the price action, the way that moves versus SPY. Understand how the management acts. Does the management sell every single time that the stock goes up, or does the management buy when the stock goes down? One of the reasons that I originally went on to UAVS back last year was because literally 50% of the company was owned by the top 3 insiders. And I was like, okay, the hell is a company in the middle of Kansas or Kentucky doing with some guy basically pouring his entire, his salary was like $500,000, and he had owned like $6 million worth of the company. I was like, okay, this guy doesn't know what to do with his money, or he really believes in where they're going. And so if the management believes in where they're going and they put their money behind it, that's when I get excited. So again, good management coupled with trading near cash, that's always something that goes on my radar. If you're new to trading and, you don't know like the personalities of, let's call it like some of the stocks that everybody talks about, then that's a really good way to kind of like sift them out.
And that's another reason why, even though the market might have been kind of shit, you need to still be able to watch it. You can't just take a 3-month break and then wait. Yeah, and your boys are like, market's back, and you just come back from Bora Bora.
Yeah.
Because you need to know like why these things were dropping, what happened, like we always talk about, the personalities of these stocks change. So you take a 3-month break, and one of these stocks basically got a new boyfriend, changed her hair color,
Yeah.
and then went through an identity crisis. So you gotta stick around so you know which ones of these girls are still acceptable.
And that's the thing is that those like boyfriend girlfriends are the algorithms attached to the stock. So the first one that comes to mind right now is Amazon. Amazon used to move point for point with SPY. Now there's a huge delay, a huge disconnect. Ever since their knockout earnings, Amazon has not had the same algorithm on it. And it's kind of funny to watch. The disconnect is kind of crazy. If you guys have an extra screen, then pull it up and watch them both. And right now they're not moving as fluidly, as they used to. So that's the thing is that when we talk about like boyfriend, girlfriend on stocks, that's literally the algorithm. If the algorithm changes on that stock, it's obviously going to be different.
Well, reviewing the past few months, it was shitty. But there are pros and cons of it. 2020 hindsight. What are some things you are happy you did in it and some things you aren't happy about? And I guess I'll start. So the things I was happy about, how I handled the whole, the market the past 3 months is I didn't overtrade. I didn't, it came out profitable, and I cut things if they weren't working, and I took profits when I needed to. For my knot, and this kind of what's the word I'm looking for? This kind of contradicts what I just said about not taking the breaks. Is I feel like there were days where I should have just stopped, just been like, okay, nothing is happening. And even though I wasn't trading it, I was just sitting doing nothing, just watching these stocks. And I was like, man, I really could have done something today, but I just didn't. And I just sat there and just watched and watched and watched. Nothing happened. Just in voice chat, like, boring day. I'm like, yep, boring day. Yep.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. The bad is that I've overtraded. And it took me until like 2 weeks ago to really not overtrade. So, I mean, I would make good money inside the first like 20 minutes. And then that's when I should have walked away. But I would just overtrade and just kind of like those 1,000 cuts, but intraday. And so it would be like up, X amount of money. And then I would proceed to lose it throughout the rest of the day. So that's one thing. The good is that I really feel like this is a slower market than what we saw pre-COVID. And so if you were able to make money inside this market, congratulations. I genuinely feel like you can do this after like all the dust settles. After all the dust settles, I really feel like this is a market where this was even slower than what we saw pre-COVID.
Before COVID,
so if you can make money,
so slow. Like, I don't, after China got it, and it was like, and then, the Iran news, I think that's what it was back in January that made like oil and the Housas get all the hype, HUSA. Yeah, that was so boring. That was so dead.
Yeah. And so I really feel like this time is slower than last time. So if you can make money inside this market, congratulations. I think it'll be all right.
Another congratulations was you're graduating.
Yes, sir.
About time. So you passed your last class.
Well, see, that's the thing is I never got a confirmation.
Right, but you get to walk. Your mom will be happy. If you don't get the piece of paper, who cares?
I do not want to walk. I would rather work. I would rather work than walk.
Dude,
today.
make a trade.
It's like a participation. It's like it's a freaking participation trophy. Everybody, you know how many people graduate from college every year? It's literally like, hey, congratulations. You spent 160 grand.
I dropped out.
Okay. There's more people that graduate than drop out every year.
Didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. Okay. So it's basically like Like, this is like when I'm sitting there, I'm going to be freaking boiling because what I'm going to be thinking about is, oh, hey, 80% of you took out loans that you shouldn't have taken out. And now for the next 5 to 7 to 10 to 50 years, you're going to be screwed with crippling student financial debt. Congratulations. Here's your diploma and a cookie. Like, that's what I'm going to be thinking about. I'm going to have to freaking try not to take the mic over.
You won't make a trade while you're walking. You know how
Of course I will.
laid back's like, I fucking made a trade. I killed this trade at the pool on an iPod Nano Mini. You got to fucking kill the trade. Walking the floor.
I'm going to put my legs up like laid back. Laid back
style. Dude.
Laid back style.
Dude, do a little wing option trade while you're walking the floor. That's how you do it, man.
All right, that's all I'll do. I'm not throwing any money at because I do not know wing. I mean,
they're like,
maybe I'll DM laid back.
Maybe pay for someone's tuition.
I mean, whoa. Do you know how much tuition is?
I clearly don't because I probably wouldn't have dicked around all of college.
Dude, college, okay, the two most profitable companies are the church and higher education. It is ridiculous how much those two make. The church are up here inside the city. They have properties. They have like buildings. And they make a hell of a lot. And I'm like looking at their balance sheet. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Dude, my priest is a billionaire. My priest is like a billionaire up here. Okay? And you go to higher education. And it's like, hey, take out $400,000 in student loans and come and make $55,000 with a like 20% interest rate. You know how long that's going to take to pay off? And that's not a joke. Like, that is like what most of America has to deal with. And that is like scary because that is so much money. And when you do the math, it's like, hey, if you eat rice and beans for the next 15 years, then you'll finally come out with no student debt. 15 years. 22, 30, 37. I want to be a freaking billionaire, not at zero. I don't want to be starting my damn life at zero. That's so scary to me that they just allow people with no financial education, no financial knowledge to take out $500,000.
Best 4 years of your life.
And then they're going to say, no. The mantra of college is the best 4 years of my life. When I would hear that, I would want to kill that
I'll
kid.
be honest.
Because
it was the best few years of mine. Well, now, I'm making up for lost time. But
I had a fantastic time in college. But for me to sit there and say, I'm broke, I owe money to the government, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do after school, scared the hell out of me. Not like, oh, hey, like, this is the best 4 years of my life. No. I'm sitting there and I was like, oh my God, like, I can't wait to get out of this place. Like, listen, frat parties were fantastic, but when I would pick up my shoes and they would squeak and they were sticky, I was like, okay, no. I could do without this. I could do without this,
little,
you
man.
know? Dude, are you kidding me? They used to call me Party Henny back in the day, you know? I used to do the old robot, you know what I'm saying?
You seem like a guy that would hit the robot at a party.
Listen, last thing, okay? If you are not in college yet, or you're in college yet, please take it into consideration how much tuition is and what you're going to do after school. Okay, I went to community college, and guess what? It was fantastic. I was done my day. I literally I would cram like 7 classes from Tuesday to Wednesday, and I would be done. So Thursday, I would go visit my friends. Okay, it cost me $2,000
You went
a semester.
to go visit your friends at real colleges.
Yes. And guess what? I paid for drinks because I was paying $2,000 a semester. They were paying $65,000. Not a semester, but a year. So please, if you're not in school yet, have a plan. Don't just go to college. Education is a fantastic thing, but do not just go to college to go to college.
And if your parents are paying for you, Go to a school with a good football team. SEC's badass.
Yeah. Okay. If your parents again, then yeah, sure, live it up. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Full scholarship. We're not gonna sound bratty. If the full scholarship, go to an SEC
I didn't even think
school.
about that.
Yeah, you use the education.
That was never.
And then you go.
Yes.
And then
leverage your.
Yes. Yeah. Take them for all they got. Or at sponsorship. I mean scholarships for athletes.
Sponsorship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
If anyone wants to sponsor us to college, won't do it.
Most people don't go to Harvard because they want to challenge themselves. Okay, actually, they probably go to Harvard to challenge themselves. But there's a majority that go to certain schools for the connections. Okay, and I get that.
I got my connections on Twitter.
Exactly. Okay, I emailed 103 CEOs. Only 2 of them answered me, but both of them offered me jobs. So please have a plan. Do not just go to college to go to college. It literally will cripple you if done incorrectly.
Dude, college actually did almost cripple me. I almost had an 80% chance to lose my leg in college. Wow. You're right.
Wow.
You're right. College almost crippled me. College literally almost crippled me.
We're always on the same page.
Yeah, that's exactly what you meant. But you do need to go. You enjoy your little walking day.
I'll be tweeting from it all day because I'll be so bored.
Yeah, you deserve it. So, congratulations!
I do.
And to all the pennies going in Raw family, we're all so proud. It's been like we've watched you through at least 2 semesters now because we have. So you enjoy that and make sure everyone to leave a like, subscribe, and congratulate Hugh, retweet, fucking do everything. And we should start doing giveaways. We're nice guys. The market's heating back up and there's some colorful keyboards that we just really want to give away. So we'll give out some details on that.
Mine has dirt all over it. You see?
Whoa,
that's nice.
Boy. Yeah, I'm a gamer.
Damn.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday, and we should have an interview, and we'll TTYL.